No, I'm not Zuckerberg, sorry. I'm the Go subscribe to them too. They're good. To swim home through trash water. Through trash water. Sorry if you couldn't see it. Thank you. If you guys share that, it would help. Yeah, I'm not expecting notifications anymore. Now you gotta come search this show out. No notifications because what I show at this channel is so disturbing. They don't want anybody getting notified. Maybe try re-ringing the bell, you guys. See if that works. I've been missing notifications for other shows and stuff too, so it's happening. Oh, you did? Good. Well, some are, I guess. I guess you were meant to be here then, huh? All right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. Like a lion. All right. So, a lot of devastation in New Orleans from this storm that passed through the region there. Okay. This storm is just laying down, flooding everywhere it goes. In fact, there's a new kind of warning, a catastrophic warning now. All right. And it's just been issued for a place in Pennsylvania. All right. So we got some, we got a lot going on. It's April 11th, 411, you know, the 411, your information, just FYI, just for your information, the lowdown on April 11th. All right, let's get into it. Here is your loop plan with several of these things coming out. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think 4 of them. 4 of those fast movers there, okay? The same amount of likes and people I got in my audience. All right. I'm telling you guys, you are an elite group. You really are. Okay, let me just pause this on the opening frame here, and then we'll get to business, shall we? Fire up the music and start dancing. Okay, we don't even have all the data there, so let's just pause for a minute. Everybody take a deep breath. I need to, and take a sip of my drink here. Been a long day of deep breaths. How about you? You guys been practicing that at all? Hopefully so. Hopefully you're going to need it. All right, anyways, let's dive on in. Opening frame 024 of April 11th. You can see we have this event over here underway right in this area, right where our spire is. Okay, we're going to start walking through this frame by frame here. Okay, you can make out there's something, jet energy or something. All right, so here comes this little jet of energy right there. All right, that's one. It's not as fast, but it's one. Now here comes the second one. That one's pretty fast. Here comes the third. That one's hauling ass. There's its ghost image. Here comes a fourth. See, we're not even at 10 o'clock yet, or we're just at 10:36 here. Here comes another one. I said a fourth, right? Right there. Oh, I need protection from you, McAfee. That's the only protection I need is from you guys. I love how they just help themselves into your computer. I've done a scan already, and you need to clear this and that. What? You did a scan of my computer without my authorization? McAfee, who do you think you are? I think well, we'll talk about that later tonight, too, and about OJ. And then here we are at 1736 with another one. All right, I lost count there. You can see the ghost image on it. So, I don't think I'm going to count that. Should we count that one? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about 6 of them, I guess, depending on how you look at it. Let's play it. Actually, what I want to do, actually, that's a pretty good speed right there. Let's leave it at that speed, and that's our normal speed that we're used to watching it at, okay? So these things are zooming by a lot faster than we're used to tracking the stuff that's coming off there. Don't you agree? I'll let you be the judge as well. You guys here at this channel have a gift that I gave you, the gift of seeing. Your eyes, I'll let you be the judge of what you see as well. And watch over here as well. This is where plasma bursts coming out. They're bing, bing, boom, boom. All right. This is different kind of activity. We noted this, a few days back. Wages saw it. I saw it too. We all went, whoa, that thing was quick. I've never seen anything like that before. And then the following day, I think we had a couple of more. And then now here we are with 6 in one day. I don't know. You just take a look there and see what you think. And that's not even all the data. because it stops at 1812. You know what I want to do here real quick? I might be looking at. Nope, that seems to only have 81 frames. And yeah, ending at 1800 here. So that's missing all the data. We're missing some data from 18 through 24. Okay, so not all the data is there. One more time with this, put this loop back into motion, and then we're going to move on. We got a lot to cover tonight. So everybody get all cozy, get your drinks, get your popcorn. Oh, I'll tell you about popcorn. The funniest thing, my cat has developed a little pattern. He knows when I'm doing my show. And just prior to the show, when I go outside, I say my prayers for the show, for you guys as well, for the audience, okay? Very, very special session of prayers that I do every night before the show. Very important. And when I come back in, the cat is letting me know, hey, you better feed me before you go on the show for 2 hours or whatever. So I give him a little treat before I go live, and I started calling it popcorn. Just, hey, you want some popcorn before the show? I don't give him literal popcorn, but similar to going to a movie, you used to get popcorn and snacks and drinks before the show. So I laughingly used to say to the cat, hey, you ready for popcorn? Like, yep. Now tonight I come in and I start to set up the show. The cat pushes the door open with his head and says, popcorn. So the cat's learning a little language code of his own. Very, very interesting how animals communicate with humans. Very, very interesting. All right, let's move on now. You've seen enough of that. I just popped in my head there, the popcorn. Now, look at this. What a mess we got here over at the KP, or at the X-ray. The X-ray flux. How's your flux doing? Your acid reflux. Are you guys all good? Probably not stressing as much as the rest of the world is. Let me get this just about. Oop. Minus the wavy lines a little bit. That's much better. All right. As you can see, here's our square for the day. Let me take the finger out of there. And minus our dropout. But we've had quite a little bumpy ride here, okay? Remember I showed you the lifted indices as we climbing up? We came to a little plateau. Look, we're rising up even more. We're rising up high enough to have M-class flares now. Look at this. We've had an M5.4, was it? Yeah, 5.4 on the limb. Okay, so remember I was telling you we've been sitting on the quiet side of the sun, all the activity's on the other side, and it's rotating around. Well, here it comes. Here comes the limb. All the activity that's rotating around is now reaching the limb and now firing off, and we're starting to pick up the uptick in the overall, and then an uptick in flare size and potential now. All right, so we're the active side of the sun is rotating towards us. You guys better be watching Paul Bagley and listening to Mike from around the world. Okay, I know him. He is trying to convey to you guys as much as he can. All right, it's time you guys really go pay attention. All right, he talked about a lot of the subjects we talk about here too. All right, and I just feel bad that they only allow him to say so much. All right. Anyways, now I wanted you to take a peek. Here's our solar indices are lifted again. At first, a while back, we were in the 120s. Then we came up to 130s. Now here we are in the 140s. Okay. So our solar indices have lifted. So we came up another plateau. So this is 120s, 130s. Now we're up in the 140s. Okay. And we came out of that above the seafloor there. All right, now we're back in good range. This is normal range, okay? Before we were abnormal. We were down below normal, okay, in a cautionary area. I'm going to take my own pen and color those in. Anyways, Now, our M flare potential has jumped to 25%, and our X flare to 1 has not jumped. All right, this is where I disagree. All right, I think we are about to see X flare potential very soon. If we just saw this was almost an X. Look how close it got to reaching the top there. Already, we're seeing lifted indices in plateaus. We're seeing increased each day. All right, so here we go. I think the M flare potential should be a little higher, and I think the X flare potential should be 10 to 25, maybe. Not to be an alarmist, but to be a realist, because we have these active regions that are rotating around the limb. We might see an X flare, might not come our way because it's still on the limb, but the potential is growing. All right, and I think it's a little bit higher. It's higher than 1%. I'll tell you that much. Looking at this thing and how close we just came today to reaching one, and it's only 1%. I'll let you be the judge of that as well. That's what's so important about this stuff, is your judgment at this as well as we go through this learning process. Okay. So, not much on the D layer. It didn't really hit us. It was way off the limb. So that's good. We didn't take a bunch of absorption. Our geomagnetic forecast is still all green for the next 3 days. We did have the 5.4 on the limb. We do have growing numbers sunspots. Now, instead of 36, where to go? 36, 33. It's died down, and now region 36, 34 is our new beta gamma. All right. I pray this doesn't happen, but this one has the potential to go beta gamma delta. All right. I'm just saying, watch this thing go delta next. All right. I hope I'm wrong, but let's come over here to our KP real quick. Or just look at it like that. Pretty low right now. Okay. We did have a little bout right there of like medium absorption. Okay. Then it lowered way down. So the solar wind activity, coronal hole activity, whatever kind of energy radiation heading towards us has been, and us absorbing it has been minimal. Okay. Now let's hop into this report real quick, and then we'll come over to the auroras. You can already see the auroras here in the corner. They're pretty weak. Let me just start reading this. Solar activity reached moderate levels on Thursday with an impulsive 5.4 solar flare peaking at 1706. Okay, although a rapid flare, you would think a flare above M5 level would be easy to pinpoint, but it was not. There was some activity around the time of the X-ray event centered off the southeast limb in the vicinity of the old region 3615. Not that guy again. That's the one that spit an X-flare at us last time. And just afterwards, an apparent eruption was observed beyond the northeast limb. The 3635 had also been producing C flares on Thursday as well. Whatever the source was, it is clear that elevated solar activity looks to be on the horizon. Elevated solar activity looks to be on the horizon. That's what I was saying too. Okay, I agree. Now let's come on over here. You can see they're pretty weak right now. This camera, I don't know. I need to go watch my own show sometimes just to see what kind of video effects. I don't even go watch my own show because I don't have time. All right. Anywho, back to this. They're very mild right now. You know, way down at 1, just between 0 and 1. So that's good. We're not taking on a bunch of absorption of radiation right now. Opening up the tracker. Okay, let's do some tracking. Track-a-lacking. Alrighty, as you can tell, this one kind of moved down to the south, or to the, to this region. I would say south on the screen, but it would be to the east. Okay, so that eruption that you saw that we looked at earlier, there were multiple ones. Okay, so this is just one of those many eruptions. Probably the oh, good night, Daryl. You can always watch it on replay. Love you, buddy. Sorry I go on so late, but Oh, a lot goes into this. So, anyways, back to the report. Love you, brother. Bless you. All right. See where it's gone. It's not heading our way. That's good news. All right. Now backing out. Over here. This is what I kind of wanted to look at. What's this one? Hey, Daryl, you can leave me on in the background and let my voice lull you to sleep. I know that some people here like to do that, and I don't blame you. There's certain friendly voices that I like on YouTube that I will put on in the background and fall asleep to it. All right. Oh, you know what else is good to fall asleep to? If you're having trouble falling asleep some night, put on golf in the background where the announcers are whispering, here he is on the 12th hole, and he's about to put about 30 seconds of listening to golf will put you to sleep. All right, here's this eruption. Look at this one that they're tracking. A skimmer. It's skimming the earth. Look at that. And on this one, north-south, it's not dodging us. Or, well, bowling, they do it in bowling as well, but when the dude hits a strike, that might jerk you awake, so. But golf, yes, here we are over at the Enlil Spiral. And as you can see, around the 14th here, they're expecting some kind of impact here at Earth. So, one more time, big eruption coming out. That's a big broad one. See this area low pressure back behind it there? It does graze us around the time of the 14th. All right, so a little something to keep in the back of your mind. We're starting to get, and then there's this one as well. All right, so there's two different ones. This one's tracking a certain CME, and this one's tracking a different one. Like I said, there were multiple CMEs that day. Okay. Now can we? April 10th in the image below. No, that's April 10th. Yeah, it's very pretty, but it's hard to tell what's what. So, a lot going on in there. Almost kind of looks. No, let's not go there. All right, let's come on over here instead to the spaceweather.com here. Hang on. The quiet has ended. It has ended. After more than a week of relative quiet, the sun produced an impulsive M54 on, of all days, April 11th. Yes, the source of the blast was just behind the sun's northeast limb. This means an active sunspot may be hiding behind the edge. Well, we know it is. It's turning to face Earth this weekend. Oh, great. So everybody hold on this weekend. Here it comes. All right, volcanic vortex rings. These are what we were talking about earlier. They actually make an air cannon thing toy for kids that shoots a ring like this of air across the room, and you can knock stuff over or whatever. This is the same little vortex, and it keeps, as the vortex is spinning, going up and down and around, it keeps those little rings. It's just like blowing a smoke ring. Oh, there's a Danish girl. Hello there. I haven't seen you. Wow. All right, so back over to here. Check it out. Mount Etna, blowing smoke rings, looking like halos. These are like signs. All right, these are warning signs right here. I showed you the other day where there were 10 of them in a row. All right, so this is a sign of the pressure from down below that we talk about a lot here. This is signs of that pressure coming to the surface and being vented. All right, if the volcano can't erupt itself, maybe there's something plugging it, or maybe it's just not enough pressure yet to get magma to the surface. But there's the release of pressure in the form of smoke rings. A continuous jet of rings is dancing around the craters until they dissolve into the sky, the phenomenon of extreme rarity. Mount Etna has produced vortices before, but nothing like this. On April In April, excuse me, of 2024, it has broken all previous records, according to Boris so-and-so. I can't read that right now, but tourists are flocking to the mountain to witness the display. Look at this crescent moon going down there after the, since the eclipse. Oh, all right. It's okay. You guys can always watch this on replay. That's why I do it this way, so you can watch it on replay and take your time going through it. We do cover a lot here. So, anyways, beautiful image of Mount Etna sending out smoke rings here. Okay. The gas rings are composed of 80% water vapor, with the remaining 20% mostly made of what? Sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide. All right. CO2. It is the water vapor that gives the rings their white hue, making them resemble Gandalf-like smoke rings. All right. Oh, so we all heard about the comet? And where was the comet? Remember, I was asking you, where was the comet? Everybody looked at the eclipse. Remember, there was supposed to be the devil horned comet. They kept calling it the devil comet, devil comet, devil comet, right? What happened to the devil comet during the eclipse? I want you to think about this real quick, because I had this. This is part of our spiritual report tonight. But since they insisted on calling it devil, and when it got sucked into the sun and exploded, all right, so the sun destroyed it, all right, the devil was killed by the Son of Man, the Son of God. Get it? That was a sign. The devil, that we called the devil comet, was killed by the sun. The SON. SUN. Pretty cool. Anyways, that popped in there when I was thinking about this. So hopefully you guys got that little part. We'll talk about that later on tonight too, because that's part of boy, there's so much missing that wasn't put in the Bible. Okay, you got a very small little section. It's enough, but there's a lot more. Anyways, beautiful image. We got to get going here. The comet did not survive the eclipse. Astronomer Carl Battens of the Naval Research Lab that a sun-grazing comet might be visible during Monday's total eclipse, and he was right. Chinese astronomer Lin Zhao was in New Hampshire for the eclipse, and he photographed the disintegrating comet. Remember this one that we were talking about the other night? This is it. This is the devil comet. Remember that one I showed you the other day on Soho over here, up here in the corner? That was it. That was our devil comet. It fizzled out and was literally destroyed or killed by the sun. That's like a period comet that came around every 71 years. It never had a trajectory to where it interfered with the sun. It was always there. So that's something that was put in motion at the beginning of time that happened, and that's another sign that's going missed and unnoticed. And for me, I could see it clear as a bell. The devil was killed by the sun. Pretty cool. All right, so let's move on. Okay, we're over here at our Schumann now. Okay, you can see our missing data. How we came out of it, grinding, weak event right there. Start to come back to life. A lot of pressure down below. We're grinding, weak event here. Okay. Now, as we pull out of this weak event, you see us still grinding. See all these other little dash lines up there? Lord, give me patience to do position number 2. Just bear with me a second here. All right. I need you guys up close. All right, class, everybody come down front to the chalkboard and look closely. All right, there we go. Chalkboard? What's a chalkboard, man? All right, anywho, you can see all the way down this dark little line right here. This is a weakening in our field, just like I was showing you last night when Well, when we saw, quite an event happen down at the core. Now, whether it's rotating backwards or forwards, it's still rotating. That's all that matters, really, okay? All right, we're at position 2. Leave it alone, Brian. Position 2. All right, here we go. Okay. Sorry. I'm just, like I said, it's been a long day of deep breaths. Okay. All right, so refresh. You see this little line right here? That's what I wanted to see a little more data. This very bright white line clearing the whole screen. So there's a good screech that we just had. I mean, just moments ago, all right? So we had weakness, we had grinding, we had weakness, we had very intense. So if your moods have been going up and down and up and down and up and down, and you're feeling seasick and you're nauseous and you're sore, uh, also lethargy, if you're feeling lethargic, you're like, where are my energy levels? And one day, and then on other days, you're like, whoa, zoom, zoom, zoom. All of a sudden, you got energy again. If you're experiencing those roller coaster ups and downs, it's because of what's going on in our magnetic field here, okay? I have a feeling I know what happened right here. And when we look at, when we get in detail into tonight's thumbnail and what was captured and sent to Mr. MBB, hopefully you guys are watching him as well. A lot of people are watching other instruments as well, and we need that because the more eyes we have on different instruments capturing different anomalies, the more we can consolidate, collect that information, consolidate it, and make a better show. Okay, so as you can see, right around here, and we're going to talk about this here in a little bit. Right now, we just had this little spike, all right, and we're kind of grinding. So there's your pressure down below. We had a little build up to where it weakened the field. The field tries to come back to life, but when it does, it's grinding. So there's a lot of pressure down below, okay, at the core level. Now let's get on over to here. Help me with this tonight, Lord. Oh. Oh, man. All right, let's I didn't even have that ready. I wasn't ready for that. I wanted something different here. I can't look at that yet. Now, where was I earlier, Lord? I wanted to show them. Oh, yes. Okay, let's just put our winds at the 850 current here. Quickly, our event that happened was down in this region, okay? And when I tell you something, it'll all kind of make a little more sense. Look at this storm brewing off the coast of Africa there, looking like a small hurricane. First, sorry, I'm just all over the place tonight. Imagine having one side of your brain ADHD and the other half of your brain OCD. It's very hard to breathe and balance it all out. All right, so upper levels, this is your polar vortex level, okay? We're just seeing these common flows now. There's no more vortex per se. Down here at the southern hemisphere, theirs is raging because they're going into wintertime, okay? And you can see theirs. But I'm not concerned about that. What we're on to do is just get through this. All right, there's your transition. There's your upper jet. Now, our upper jet here is very important these days. Okay, we have cold air coming off, also cold air mixing in a little bit, but this Pacific flow coming down, mixing with warm air coming up from the south. You see the hot cocktail being mixed together right there. Okay. Then, as it comes up the middle part of the country, It loops over, comes down. We also have another little fetch. We also have this little gear type effect, this low pressure driving stuff down. All right, so that's your upper jet. And watch how it correlates to the lower. All right, so you can see here, this flow is now causing this kind of flow where we have moist, warm air coming up over the plains and cold air diving down into here. All right, these two mixtures are just going to cause more and more havoc. Okay, what I need to do though is get away from that. I'm sorry, we got to move on. Particulates. This is dust. DUEX means dust or extinction aerosol. Extinction. That's funny that they use that term. Look, are you kidding me? Any of you guys watch Reed Timmer at all? He does a funny thing. He says, "You got to be kidding me," and then he says it really fast. You gotta be kidding me, 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 gotta be kidding me. Look at that. Wow. Look how it's getting picked up by that storm. Right there, bringing it all out and twisting it around. You see the even curl back come off the tail of this. Look at this structure. Wow. What is going on with this storm right here? Sorry, we got to get back. I want to see. All right, even down at the surface. Wow. So at the surface, we got that kind of rotation. Going back up from the surface, up in altitude. Let's see how high this connects. Dude, it connects all the way up to the upper jet stream. That's that gear. Look at this, you guys. And when we talk about the event that happened down here, you'll see what this might make a little more sense here too. Oh boy, Lord. Just revelations while I'm doing the show. I don't need that. I do that during or before. So there is your upper jet stream causing that crazy ass sandstorm. I want it right there, and I want to go back to it. All right, now this is the sandstorm that's been, 4 or 5 months long since November. Well, that's 6 months maybe now. All right, huge sand plume getting sucked out into the Pacific, getting pulled up by this storm. It looks like this storm, whichever direction it goes, is going to take all the sand with it and lash somebody with it. As well as over here in Saudi Arabia, you can see we have another sandstorm. Look at this rotating around here. Is that a skull? Anyways, let me take the winds out of there. You can see Saudi Arabia still having sandstorm issues, as well as up here in the Gobi Desert. All right, and I believe that when these objects, some of them pass near our planet and interact with our magnetic field, that would cause static electricity. A static electric charge can be held by sand, by silicon. Okay, so this sand can hold an electric charge. It gets statically charged, becomes lighter than air. Well, not lighter than air, but much lighter than it usually is. Let's put it that way. It's much lighter than it usually is, and it's much easier kicked up by any kind of wind. When you get stronger winds, it's going to kick up a thicker, bigger sandstorm. All right. Totally screams something wrong right here. They are dodging this subject like a. I don't even think MBB's allowed to talk about it anymore. Some people got kind of cut off of what they're allowed to talk about. All right, so let's move on. I need the other. Boy, we got some important stuff, so don't miss it. Help me, Lord. Show me the way. Okay, as you can see, we're over here at China. This is our current conditions right now. This is not during the daytime. This is at night. Or, well, usually this is intense at 8 hours before. So this is current time right now. They're having this huge intensity plume. Okay, you can see the darkness, how much of it there is, how widespread it is. Okay, I want proper because I don't want any deception or kind of deceive you by tilting this, trying to make it look darker than it truly is. I want you guys, you can come over to this instrument as well. If you pay attention to what I click on, you can go copy it and come over here and check it yourself. So, a lot of pressure going on there. Coming down to Java, it's pretty dark in that region as well. Okay, especially down here, these guys are pumping out a lot of sulfur dioxide. Okay, coming on over here to America, we're not so dark. Okay, here you can totally see a nation divided 50-50, right down one side and the other, like that. See the little line I left there? See the little line I left there? All right, cool. Anyways, this side still bleeding out. This side, little pockets here and there, whatever, but not too bad. These ones up here that indicate pressure sometimes, that one's getting nice and dark right there. But regionally, pretty light. So that's good there. Let's take a peek down here. And our one right here is pretty strong, but you can tell the winds are diffusing this. Watch, you can just see the streaks, the way they're going. Put the winds on, yeah, and sure enough, they're diffusing a lot of that gas right now, so. I also want, now, not the ocean, yeah, oceans. I want the temperature surface anomalies. Might have to go back 8 hours to get, all right, well, there we go. That's a little bit better. Just a quick report again on this. Very, very important. Mike was talking about this stuff tonight. We have underwater at the ocean floor, heat anomalies growing, causing hot water to form and stuff. And another aspect of this that he pointed out that is true and needs to be, I forgot to point out too as well. It's when you have a lot of hot water like this, you're going to have more evaporation. And when you guys understand that evaporation is water turning into the gas into the air, that's the water vapor in the air, right? We're going to, that's going to exacerbate the problem. We already have a lot of volcanic ash, which duplicates the amount of particles water droplets can stick to and adhere to. So we've just doubled up, 5 times up the capacity there just by particulates. Now add evaporation to that at the same time. That's going to put more water vapor in the air as well. It's going to get very, very humid. He's right. It's going to get very, very humid. Now look over here. You see this plume is still off of Taiwan. That's hot water right off the coast. And if it were seasonal, there'd be warm water right here. But there's a boundary because these heat areas cause currents. Can you have the currents, Lord, please? Thank you. Okay, and you can see that these currents form boundaries and barriers. And actually, they're starting to intermingle here a little bit. But then it comes up, this warm water comes up, tries to avoid the cold water. A little bit of cold blends in, cools it off. So we're having underground heat issues. from underground, okay? Because magma is pushing up under the underside of the crust, like blowing up a balloon from the inside. The air is pushing it outward, right? Well, the magma is pushing the crust outward, and the crust is holding on to keep it in there, but it comes out of little perforations anywhere there's, holes or weak spots in the crust. This is our Gulf Stream, all right, and you can see it's being affected. Well, we have a patch of hot water up here, between northern Canada here and Greenland, all right, hot water. Also, hot water off of Iceland here. You can see the barrier that's been created there. Let's put the currents back on. Oh, Lord, please help me. Now, we also have clear up here. This is almost at the Arctic Circle. I mean, we're at the top of the planet. Here's the top of the planet right there. Just a hop, skip, and a jump away is more hot water way up here north of Siberia. And you can see the inflow or the feed to this area. The water that's coming in isn't the cause. It's cooler water as far as temperature. It's cooler coming in. It passes over this region, gets heated up, and then as it travels away and intermingles with cooler water, it tapers off, and you see a well-defined eddy, almost like a finger right there. Almost looks like God kind of pointing at it. Hey, here's a problem right here. See the hand kind of doing this? All right. So, issues all over the place as far as thermal problems at the underneath the crust. And look how it's heating up this region over here, and all the seas, and summertime and transition, they are going to warm up because they're closed off bodies of water and stuff. Okay, but look how here at the Caspian Sea, you have a very cold pocket, and then you have a very hot pocket. Hot pocket. And that's where we're seeing sandstorms is from that region as well. Now, I got to keep moving. Oh, what are we doing here? All right, we're done. Yes. Now, earthquakes. No. Well, yeah, let's just do it. Get it over with. All right, so a little quietness on the planet right now. If you look around, it's just basically this region right here and a few little strays. So let's just get into it real quick. Here we are at Fiji, our source of our deep quakes. 4.8 down at 599. And a 4.6 at 146. There's a 4.7. So instead of a mid-range 4 that we're used to seeing, it's a 4.8. That could be a little bit stronger. We never know. But we did see an increase in magnitude down at depth. Remember I showed you the Schumann? Don't be surprised we see a bigger quake, a bigger deep quake. We might see a 5. We might see an increase in magnitude down at depth, okay? Blot echo, whatever they call that. I don't know. 4.8 down at 123 right there. Coming up here, we have 4.7 down at 32. 4.9 or a 5 right there at 19 at the surface. Pretty close. There's a 4.5 there. And a 5.0 right there. There's our 5.0, but it's down at 47. See this little deep area right here? This little pit? It's just off of that deep region where it comes to land. Please? Yeah. So there's a little weak zone right in that area. And this is down at 47, so it's not super close to the surface, all right? Backing away, look how quiet Taiwan is. Look how quiet this region is with all the hot water. Look how quiet this whole thing is. There's one little mouse fart a 2.5. Why did I even click on it? Nothing but little tiny ones up through there. Nothing along the Juan de Fuca. But here, we just had a recent quake. It's in red. A 2.6, though, so nothing too big. Very small down here by the Cocos. Little 5 right there at the surface. Look how quiet South America is. Look how quiet Africa is. Look how quiet Europe is. Look how quiet the whole world, except for this region and right here. 4.6. All right, so there's like pressure quelling the quakes again. All right, and we'll get into this. We got to save this as well for our new activity. So, volcano. Get through this real quick and bounce back to our anomaly here. Here we go. Volcanoes. Already going into the 12th now. Santo Guido, Semeru, Reventador, Luatolo, Nevada del Ruiz. That's on that yellow cautionary list that I always say should be on the active list. Well, looky there. Sabancaya, Luatolo, 6,000 feet. Semeru, 4.4 kilometer altitude. That's 12,000, 14,000 feet. Santa Guido, Nevada del Ruiz, Reventador, 15,000. Sabancaya, 21,000. Let's come on over to the 411 of April 11th. Get it? Your 411. Etna, we saw the smoke rings coming out of there. Surveillance camera registered a minor explosion from the southeast crater. Okay, and I've been telling you, watch out for Etna. It might come to life, and it's blowing smoke rings. And now here it is. It's made the list. Ebico, 10,000 feet. Sakurajima, no identifiable satellite imagery. Ibu, 10,000 feet. That's a pretty high blast for that one. Luatobi. Oh, there it is. Flight level 7,000 feet. Okay. Semeru, 15,000 feet. The island of Java, our big relief valve, had a 15,000 foot blast. Marapi on the opposite island had a 12,000 foot blast. Now that's even more ash in the air for water vapor to stick to. We are adding more and more fuel to the fire. We're adding wood and we're adding gasoline. The oxygen is doing the rest, and it's. Anyways, here we go. Ooh, got a sting in my nose just then. Wow. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. All right, back to business. Marapi, okay, 12,000 feet and 15,000 feet. That's a lot of ash in the air. Ducono, 8,000 feet. Popo, 19,000 feet. Okay, these blasts are getting pretty high. That's an indication of the pressure. Santa Guido, 13. Fuego, 16. Nevada del Ruiz, 20,000. Not just, hey, welcome to the list with a little 4,000 foot mouse fart. No, I'm going to kick the door open at 20,000 feet. Reventador, 15. Sabancaya, only steam and gases. Okay. All right, so that was April 11th right there. Now, our forecast, and then this or this. Let's do this first. Get through this forecast real quick. And it's not going to be the whole thing. Right now, is the main concern is this storm because it has produced a new type of warning. Mike was talking about this, and I knew it was going to have to come soon here too. These are warnings where they just evacuate people because it's going to be catastrophic. All right, the amount of water that's going to be put down on the topographical landscape, the landscape can't handle it, and there's going to be flooding, erosion, and landslides, and stuff on such a biblical level. It's going to be catastrophic. So they it's a mandatory evacuation. It's a new type of warning that we're all going to have to get used to. Is the new you get your tornado warnings, your extreme warnings, catastrophic warning. All right, for Pennsylvania, for a part in Pennsylvania, he was talking about tonight. I have to do a little meditation and get into what's really going on out there for a minute. But yeah, we can see we have that warning streak right through there, and that's severe weather crossing the state of Pennsylvania. All right, and that's your current conditions. All right. I had a radar pulled up. We'll go over to the radar here in a little bit. Let's just cover this right now. Okay, so there's your current conditions with a 986 millibar low. Okay, now we're at the morning of the 12th. This is very, very heavy rains, a lot of water. Remember, we were talking about this, the air can hold a lot of water. You just graduated from kitchen sponge into the big old sponge you used to wash your car with, the big, huge tub sized sponge. Okay, the air has the capacity to hold a lot more water. So you're going to see a lot of water in these regions where they're not built or they're not used to having so much at once. Morning of the 12th, severe weather still here in Pennsylvania. This is going to be the noon time tomorrow. We are talking a 975 millibar low. 975 is category 2. All right. The very high end is 979. So we're getting stronger at 975. The lower you go, the stronger it is. So we're a very healthy category 2. Winds, you see snow embedded in there. This the central core of this storm is going to be intense itself. It's going to have severe weather in it itself. All right, so you're looking at tornado activity, very strong winds, high flash flooding up here in Canada with the 975 category 2. Right over the Great Lakes here, going up into Canada. Severe weather hitting Maine right there. Tomorrow during the noon time. All right, we haven't even got to convection yet. Now, there's the convection or the end of convection. It's still a 978 projected millibar. That's still a category 2. You see this intense dark blue snow here. That's a lot of snow. That's a blizzard right on the backside here, coming into Lake Huron there on the backside, Lake Superior there. All right, so there's the convection of the 12th tomorrow. There's the nighttime, so snow coming back around, wrapping around with high winds. This is going to be a blizzard coming down into Pennsylvania here, who just got flooded out, is now going to be getting snow on top of it, all right? That's still a 983. That's still category 1 hurricane winds, potential and stuff. It's be knocking out power. It's going to be a very powerful storm right there. The last thing I saw on my radar was what looked like a very serious thunderstorm heading towards Washington, D.C. It looked like they were about to maybe experience some hail or a tornado or something. We'll see, but back to business. Over here, convection of the 13th. Let me back up a little bit. So we get this storm. That's the convection of the 12th. Nighttime, morning of the 13th. Noon, convection. We have this over here hitting California, the afternoon of the 15th or 13th. The morning of the nighttime, morning of the 14th. Noon, convection. Nighttime, morning of the 15th. All right, here we go with this one now. This is coming together around the convection of the 15th. You see it fire up here at the Oklahoma-Texas border right there. All right, then it starts to travel across Oklahoma at the nighttime. All right, these are all projected things. This is all subject to change here, but it is very close here. We're not too far out into the future, so we're within the range of this being more accurate or more, reasonable. Let's just say that. Okay, morning of the 16th. Everybody hold on. Here we go. Whoa. Pause. Back. I hit the wrong button. Morning of the 16th. Oh, you got cheated. There's the noontime. Now you see the circulation, severe weather right in the circulation. If we're having severe weather in the central core of already circulation, pretty good chance you might see some tornadoes in that because the whole thing's already circulating. That right there, I would hate to see one huge mesocyclone that big taking up that corner of the state. It's a 985 millibar low already at noon. Here we are at convection. Now, convection did not happen down in the tail. It's happening in the northern area. The warm air is so warm that and the cold air is a lot higher that your convective activity is happening at the top of the rotation. Sometimes you see it on the backside, mostly on this side, but now it's happening right across the top. At convection the 16th, there's nighttime, morning the 17th, still blizzard-like winds coming back down into this region. Boom. Noontime 17, convection 17, night, the morning of the 18th, noon, convection, a little bit of convection possibly. Nighttime of the 18th. You see this tail fire up way down here. See, it's even though it's disconnected, it's still drawing. Just a tad bit there. That'd be the morning of the 19th, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, here's 420. Morning of the 20th, noon, convection, nighttime. Hey, clear day for most of the country on 420. Morning of the 21st, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 22nd, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, and the rest of that's a little too far out in the future to be reliable. So, oh, hi. Michelle Roos and Danish girl. All right, you see that possibly down in the Gulf again, swirling up, but that's too far out in the future. Okay, now we've endured all that bullshit. Let's get to well, that's important stuff. I shouldn't call it bullshit. A lot of people don't like having to endure all that part of the show. Now let's get over to our anomaly here, okay? I was watching Mr. MBB. Somebody had reported this anomaly. I had to come check it out and compare it to some other instruments to see, this is an anomaly. It's a glitch or something like that, all right? But here's the very tail end of the event. This is the last frame, I believe. Yeah, okay, because in the next one it's gone. But what we're going to do is we're going to back up during this whole event here to the very opening frame. Okay, so I want you to note these increments of time down here. This is 2 p.m. All right, these increments are 3-hour increments. All right, so this thing didn't just suddenly appear in one frame. It appeared over the course of 3 hours. So on the next pass, 3 hours later, there's all kinds of little increments in between here. We just don't have that data. I would love to see the blossoming of this, right? That's what I was trying to find, was the blossoming of this. But here we captured, your opening capture is at 5 p.m. And what we have here is wave activity. All right, I got it set on waves. You can see your waves. And when you hover over it, it tells you the height of the waves in that area, 24.6 feet, right? Now over here, this was showing 83 feet. Now, what? How could that be? All right, we're going to get through this here. But what I'm going to try to explain to you is, all right, let me go just a tad bit before this, a few frames before where it's not there. And I want you guys to just look at what's going on out here. We have the color indicates wave height. It's not temperature, it's the height of the waves, all right? And the direction, you can see that they're heading, all right? Let me go back one more, I think, or even two more. All right, that's good, right about there. All right, so we're going to have to go further back here in a little bit, but I want you to take a look at this vicinity where the anomaly showed up, all right? what I believe is happening here is we're having a gravitational interaction with one of these objects. More than just an electromagnetic interaction, there's another force, a gravitational force, much like the moon controls our tides. When the moon goes around the planet, it lifts up the water off the surface of the planet a little bit and causing a high tide, right? As it leaves that vicinity, the water relaxes and goes back down to its previous level. So it's a gravitational force that's lifting water higher than the surrounding surface. Okay? Now, when I was thinking, because I was expecting something like this to happen, and if it were to happen, it would look something kind of like this. So when I saw what I was turned into MB3, I had to come over here and check this instrument to debunk it. I didn't think it was going to be real, but I came over here with the intention to debunk it. And at first it was looking like, oh, it just popped on the screen. That's, a glitch. It doesn't just pop out of nowhere. But then there's 3-hour increments. But then it made me think, if we're having a gravitational interaction, much like the ones that we have with the sun, there should be some preloading to the event. There should be a anticipation of the incoming gravity field, a little primering, right, as the closer and closer and closer it gets to full approach. So we went back into history here before the event to see what was going on with our wave activity as this said object approached. Okay, if that was the case. Okay, that's why I went back into the history, because I thought, it's just a glitch. But then I went back into the history, and all of a sudden, this is going to show a lot more. And what it shows is how disturbing what we're witnessing is. Okay, so everybody take a nice deep breath. Take a sip off your drink. Here we go. All right, this is just hours before. All right, I'm going to zoom in. Our event happens right in this area. It starts in this area. In this area, we have waves going this way. We have this energy area of intense waves. We have another area, and over here we have a rotation. Do you see this rotation right here? What I can do here is what I want to do. Is that it? Nope. Satellite. All right, you can see the wind spinning. All right, see, when we come to the satellite here, there's a big ass storm out there. All right, a very powerful vortex that's so windy it's causing at the surface this wave activity, okay? This cyclonic rotating wave activity because of a storm on the surface, all right? The winds are rotating, and you're seeing the correlating waves, all right? So this rotation kind of gives it away a little bit. This is rotating, it's cyclonic. We have another patch that's very intense pointing this way, and then we have another patch this way. Now, what I want to do when I hit this play button, I want you guys to just kind of focus on this area and watch how these areas react before said event, and then after the event is over. See how it pinched off that cyclonic action? It shut that thing down. Look how it pushed a bunch of energy and waves over to this side. Whoops, let me back out. You get a little bit better perspective. So let me start all over again. Pause there. Okay. It's important that we get this right, because if it were a glitch, then everything would kind of go back to normal activity, right? there wouldn't be this priming of the area right before it, and then results lingering after the event. That's what I want you to look at. Is look at this naked round spheroid area right here. Oh, wait until I show you. In one of the storms tonight, I was looking at storm boundaries and everything, and I was looking at the weird activity around this one storm. And when I put it into motion, I could see a clear, round area that was moving the storm. The one area, all the radar that came off of it, all the storm in the area cleared around a one just clear round circular area. We're all looking at this part, but you're not looking at the round circular clear spot. I was like blown away. It kind of means these objects are coming down and interfering and interacting with our weather and our now a gravitational effect on our tides. All right. Now we're way before it here, I think. Let's put that movie back into motion and watch again. Wait, I want it right there. I want you to watch how everything else is priming for it. This is rotation. Then it gets the gravitational interaction, shuts that down. It spreads that energy in that direction. You see waves following it, and then it's gone. All right. Now, what I don't need to do is pause, take you back here to where, is it right there? All right, that's the last frame, I believe. Oh, stop you. Come back here. All right, so here we are. Now, what happened was, whoops, come here. You see all this wave activity behind this, all right? I want you to envision a gravitational effect between a smaller object than our moon, all right? It has its own gravity, and what it did is it lifted a bubble, or not a column of water, but a bubble type effect of water. Now, out here, your wave heights are 6 to 9 feet, 10. Whoops, let's get up here. Is this too bright for the camera? It looks like it in my screen. It's important that we capture this anyways. So bear with me for a second. Lord, help me, please. All right, doesn't matter. We need to get in here. So this area is color-coded as well. So in this region, you're having 12-foot waves, 20-foot waves, 30-foot, 33 feet waves, 70, it goes 46, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then maxes out. This whole area is maxed out at 83.7. It probably goes higher, but you can see an ascending dome going up like this. You see these arches? This is water. It's a big bubble. It could be 100 feet high. It's not a wave. It's the water being lifted up off just like the moon's gravity would lift the water on a high tide. These interactions have been causing these tidal surges and tidal retreats around the world for the last few years. Okay. And I was wondering if any instrument would ever capture it, or how we would ever detect such an event. Now, after said event, watch how, do you see how all this energy now, these are the correlating energy that just produced by this is now being shunted this way. Let's continue this movie after this dissipates. That energy is still there. It's still there. It's a result of what happened there. That it continues on. Even though that whole event disappeared, the residual effects from it are still there. So that tells me that that event took place. It's not a glitch. We're just kind of going backward through time here a little bit. Watch how this stuff all kind of goes backwards, back to its normal state before this event. All right. It even primed the water in the area right before said event. The vortex right up there, and the storm that it's producing, the electromagnetic fields producing the storm, this rotation vortex, and then the gravity that's accompanying the object starts to tug on the water and creates not a water column, but a giant dome of water from a smaller spheroid object. And you notice that it goes up. Well, because the planet's tilted. All right. The planet's not rotating this way. It's tilted at an axis. And when the thing goes by, it travels whatever trajectory it's traveling at. Enter the equation our tilt, and it travels in a direction. Okay. And it's not a giant wave. That is a big, huge bubble. And it rises over the course of 3 hours. And then at the end, it descends, it decreases over the course of 3 hours, which would correlate with an incoming gravitational field. Here it comes. See how it's getting primed right there? Boom. Our event happens. The wave activity increases because of it. It travels for a little bit, gets intense, but then the Earth rotates out of direction, and the gravitational effects of the lifting of the water effect subsides. All right. Now, if that happened really fast, wait, pause. Wait, I want to pause right here. All right, yeah, I just paused. Okay, whoops. So when this big old bubble of water got lifted, it's the maxed out at 83. So let's just say 100. Maybe it's not that high, but just a round number. Say this is a bubble of water that's 100 feet high in a dome shape, round like this, okay? Then when it relaxes and that water sloughs and goes back down, it could shove a tsunami or some kind of one of those tidal surges without a storm at Africa, or a deep bay in Africa, okay? Also, the direction of it could send shock waves, underwater shock waves in this direction, because you saw how it traveled. The traveling of the interaction was heading that direction. So it caused, you see these black kind of arching waves. Well, if we did have a lifting of water, a bubble of water that moved and then descended, it would have residual waves coming out in front like this that will hit this coast up in here, Lagos, these bays up in here. So watch out for these bays up in here. We might see some kind of residual result from this event. Okay. I was looking at this trying to debunk it. I thought, nah, that's a glitch. That's got to be a glitch. But then I thought, well, if we had a gravitational, what would the effects be? I would look for this. I would look for that. So this is wave height, water height. You come over to the thunderstorms, nothing in the area. Air pressure, not much. Wind speed, nothing. Clouds, nothing. Why isn't it affecting the radar? Why isn't it affecting the temperature? Why isn't it affecting the winds, the air, the thunderstorms, the humidity, any of this? How come it's only affecting the water? Well, that's because it's gravitational, like the moon. And you would see a pattern of the moon traveling across this map, but I bet it's compensated for so it doesn't show up. Where are my waves again? Oh. Did we pass it or is it? Yeah, we passed it. Let's go back. So, one more time with this anomaly. And then look how it fits in with the rest of the world, too. I wish this map had a round feature like a globe, because then it would look more circular. You got to remember this is being projected on a round surface, so it would come out oval looking. All right. I'm just going a few more hours before. I want you to see that area getting primed before this event comes in. All right, we're going to hit it from there. See how it's increasing in size and traveling? It reaches maximum, almost like an eclipse, and then blinks out. Okay? Now watch this. You guys, hold on tight. As if that wasn't enough, let's come on back. Whoops. Pause that. Come on back to the beginning. The wonderful thing about this instrument is it has a timestamp too. So, whoopsie. Oh, yeah, it's there in the corner. You can see it, hopefully. Right here, we're at Tuesday, April 9th. Okay, April 9th, the day after the eclipse. So this didn't have anything to do with the moon, okay, or the eclipse. This was after the eclipse. Right there is Tuesday, April 9th at 5 p.m. So well after the eclipse, another object interacted with the Earth. What's appearing to be and the fact that it had side effects, it had pre-effects and after effects that lingered now after said event. Now, look at all these. These are wave heights at 24. Well, let's get on in there here. This whole red field is all 30, 27, 28, 25. So mid 20s to almost 30-foot waves, all going towards Madagascar. Watch out, you might see a tidal surge here on this island, because do you see all that energy from said event heading in that direction? I think this allows it to go into the future a little bit. You see that red area encroaching on Madagascar? On Madagascar up there? That could be like some kind of tsunami type, like a lower surge tsunami with, I don't know. That's looking weird. All right, pause that and go back. So we're going backward through time there. Oh, I should just one time. There's our event. Now, look at the other stuff out in front of it, the intensity of the colors out in front of it, how that moves along with it in correlation. So I'll let you guys be the judge here on this one. But, it's more than just one frame of glitch, if it were a glitch. And when I went looking for other evidence of, like, say, a gravitational effect, that's when all this water, not pressure nonsense. It's just the water. That tells me a gravitational influence came in there, lifted up a column of water or a bubble, sent a bunch of water rushing that way around Africa. And then as it subsides, we might see this looks very quiet. This might be our region right here that's going to receive some kind of, well, like I said, an unexplained water surge. You know, the water on the shoreline just all of a sudden kept creeping up and creeping up. There was no wave tsunami. The water itself just kept creeping up. So you might see that effect here, and we might see that effect here. And with an effect doing this, pulling a lot of water one direction, you could see over here withdrawals where water would come out of the bay or something along those lines. No telling where you might see that effect, but if that happens here in the near future, it might be in this region, it'll probably be because of this event. I pray to God I'm wrong. When I was praying about this, I'm like, really, tell me the truth about this. He goes, are you thinking what I put in your head? Yeah, well, then that's what it is. I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? This is really. It's like, well, this is what I told you expect to see. It would show up similar to this. All right, let's just freeze frame right in the middle right here. Okay, real quick. All this area is all equal 83.7. I guarantee you it's not a plateau, that this is the maximum wave height for this instrument. We've never seen an 83-foot wave before, okay? So they don't need to go, much higher. But as we go to the edges, you see increase in height. That tells me it's a dome. It's a big bubble of water. It's a big dome of water that rose up to over 83 feet high just off the coast of Africa here. And it did so for almost a day and a half there. That was quite a little course of period of time. And it happened right after the eclipse. It wasn't the moon doing this. Oh, now play it. Did I go back far enough? Do you see the effects it's having on the... Okay, I'll let you guys be the judge of that, but there's your 411 on April 11th, all right? So we just did the terraphysics, astrophysics. Now we can move on to the metaphysics in tonight's reading, all right? I know a lot of you have been waiting for that part too. That's right there. Okay, so when we interact with these objects that are coming off the sun, I think now I showed you the one that hung out by the sun for a little bit. It didn't just pass on by, it hung out there for a minute. That could have been the case with this. As it came by, it locked on for a minute and followed the Earth rotating around for a few, and then let go and latch as it moved on. Just like you would see on the sun when one of these things would interact with the sun. Mr. Bradbury, can we have the video, please? I just need the image. Having issues, the computer's a little jammed up. I should have erased some of the instruments as we were going. All right. So while we're waiting for this to warm up, I've got some notes for you guys. As far as this event that happened, okay, the eclipse, all right. Now, a lot of this all started right before the Revelation 12 star alignment. Can we get this working, please? What? Anyways, a lot of this started right before the Revelation 12 star alignment. And I was telling you guys before that alignment was a celestial event. It's like a celestial signpost, more like it. We're traveling through space. So when you're passing by a mountain and you see it from a certain angle, you can see like the ridge line, right? But then when you keep going, it changes, and now you can no longer see that. You see it from a different perspective. So when you see this Revelation 12 star alignment, that means you're looking at it from a certain perspective. That means you're a certain part of space. That's like a celestial signpost letting you know, come on now, X out of this. It's like a celestial signpost pointing to, hey, you've crossed a certain line. You're at a certain region in time and space now. And can we please have some cooperation with this? Coast of Chile, down, down, down. She goes at least 2,000 meter drop so far. Did we have an event off the coast of Chile? Oh, never mind. Thank you, Lord, for jamming up the show. Can we please have some cooperation out of this instrument, please, Lord? Don't make me X out of everything just to continue a show. All right, well, let's continue on. So, we'll put this in place of it for the moment. Oh, now that I do that, you want to cooperate. This is a drawing I made when I was in a wonderful institution, let's just say. It's the same time when I drew this one, okay? So I used the same set of pencils, the same papers and everything. And it was a couple days after I had drawn this one. I was at the... oh, now it's cooperating, huh? Good. I will take out this. So, meanwhile, let's just kind of keep up there. All right. What I drew here is the moon, all right? And it was a half moon. One night we had finished up a session or whatever, and I went outside to have a cigarette, and I looked up, and I saw the half moon, all right? And the other side, this is just depicting the dark side of the moon, okay? So we're looking at a half moon with like an eyeball effect where it's looking down, right? So you could see the round curvature of the moon. But for some reason, there was a bite out of the moon. There was this round curvature going the wrong way on the moon, okay? So if we could block out this part of the picture. Oh, without the... That's basically what I was seeing, was a half moon with the bite taken out of the back. Just out of the, like that, kind of. All right. And I thought, how odd, what's going on there? But then a slight little illumination, once it passed a certain point, like at this point, you see how these two circles aren't perfectly lined up? If it shifted to here, it would be in a straight line. It's almost there. All right. So it was at this point, I'm like, what is going on with the moon? It looks like there's a bite missing out of it. And then it shifted just right to where the moon illuminated just barely a black, dark, black round circle below that was taking out a small little chunk of the round face of the moon. So sometimes when these objects go by and they pass by the moon, they don't black out the entire moon, but you can detect it. It goes by and just cuts off just a little bit. And the moon at the right angle will show you this black sphere right below it. And the moment, so this is out in the desert, this is a canyon that's just off the hook. So this was happening over this canyon. And the moment it aligned and that black little circle was revealed, all the coyotes in the area went berserk and all started howling and stuff. And I'm like, how odd, how weird. So I drew a picture of it as a representation of what I witnessed that night, okay? So when they say there's something out by the moon, well, long ago, I was witnessing this right here. I saw this happen one night, all right? And if an object comes in between us and the moon, say this is a lot closer and it's a lot smaller, all right? It would have a gravitational effect with our planet and do something similar to this. Where'd it go? back here. All right. If a smaller round gravitational object interacted, it would pull water up and possibly create a dome that's, upwards of 80 to 100 feet high. And then you saw the residual effects that it did. It sent a big shockwave of water this way. And the fact that it was moving this way tells me you might see something over here along this coastline as well. All right. And that's part of your spiritual report there. That's your spiritual report interfacing with our weather report. How about that? How about that? The spiritual report interfacing with the technical report now. Maybe that's why I go through all these techniques and stuff, is because they're going to interface here and you're going to understand. I'm trying to tie all the dots, connect all the dots for you guys here. All right. Now, if I could get some cooperation out of this line, you need to get rid of that site and that site and this one. We'll keep the one up that we have. That one out of there now. I want to pull up what I had there. Just give me a second here. All right, we're going to do some reading to that face right there. My face shining upon you. Pretty crazy when all this stuff starts happening to you. You got angels showing up and all kinds of people sending you off. Don't believe you, send you off to insane asylums and jail and crazy, crazy stuff, all because they won't look. They don't believe me. So, just like last time, it's so crazy how I can relate with what Jesus went through. Yeah, here I got all this, and still nobody believes you. Perform miracles, and you just be like, yeah, can you do this one, though? Or can you do that? I'll believe you when I see this or when I see that. It's like, that's not how it works. It's a spiritual thing. It has nothing to do with making flowers appear out of some thin air. That's magic. That's not miracle. That's magic. So, difference there. Now, help me, Lord. Where are we going? Oh, I wanted the other face to read too, as well. Yeah, right now is a good time to go to the bathroom, go have a cigarette, grab a drink or whatever, get all settled in for our spiritual report while I pull up a few images and get old Betsy here cooperating again, so I can give you guys a nice little report. Because it's about this part of the show ultimately, is being here in the moment, present moment with me, relaxing, being at peace. All right, we got that one up. We got the other one up. What was the other image, Lord, you wanted up? That's good. All right, good. All right, so let's get into this. I need to get my drink and everything settled in. Okay. All right, so I got a different little plan here. Okay, so we'll start with this one, and it can be like that. And we'll tone down the light. There we go. That way you can see it a little bit better. Try and get reflections out of the way. All right. Everybody take a few deep breaths. Get in your position, all your little things that you're going to do. Relax with me. Remember I was telling you it was a day of deep breaths and lots of breathing? Okay, so I went through and found some relative stuff. So come to me and rest. I am all about you, to bless and to restore you. Breathe me in with each breath. The way just ahead of you is very steep, so slow down and cling tightly to my hand. I am teaching you a difficult lesson learned only by hardship. Okay? Breathe. Breathe me in with each breath. Okay, the way ahead of you is going to get very steep now, so slow down and cling tightly to my hand. I am teaching you a difficult lesson learned only by hardship. Lift up empty hands of faith to receive my precious presence. With our precious little family here, too. Each one of you guys is precious. Okay? Slow down, cling tightly. Lift up empty hands of faith and receive my precious presence. Life, light, joy, and peace flow freely through this gift. Remember how we were talking about the gift last night? Not only is this knowledge and seeing this event and understanding it's real, that's a gift, but now you also have the gift of sight. Now you know what to look for in the clouds and where to look on certain days and how this all works. So not only did I give you the gift of my presence, but I gave you the gift of seeing, much like, some people have the gift of music or the gift of painting or, now you guys have a gift. You're gifted. You have eyes that see. Oh, and ears that hear. What? Who does that kind of thing? Breathe me in. When your focus turns away from me, you grasp for other things. You drop the glowing gift of my presence as you reach for lifeless ashes. Return to me and regain my presence. I go through it with just like you guys do, and I have to do this all the time. Sometimes during the day, I'm having bumpy day. My days can be rough too. I'm going through this just like you are. All right. So when your focus turns away, which happens in a split second, I mean, there's so many distractions in this planet. The moment you look at the TV, you forgot, or the moment you look at traffic or a bird, anything can distract you. So it's returning to me that's the hard part. So when your focus turns away from me, you grasp for other things. You drop the glowing gift of my presence as you reach for lifeless ashes. When you see that you've done that, just simply return to me again and regain my presence. That's all it is. Just when something's driving you crazy, put it aside. It's lifeless ashes. Just every time, just return to me. It's pretty simple stuff. It's just hard to do. Okay. Return to me and regain my presence. Seek my face, and you will find not only my presence, but also my peace. To receive my peace, you must change your grasping, controlling stance to one of openness and trust. Okay? Openness as well as trust. You need to be open to these ideas. Open to the idea that it's more than just a cloud. It's not just pareidolia. Pareidolia doesn't make a crown in the sky, does it? Ask yourself that question when you look at this image. If it's pareidolia, why is everybody seeing an object out by the moon? And Homeboy gets a special camera for it and captures my face crystal clear, being illuminated by the moon. This isn't a cloud passing over the moon. He zoomed way out to the moon, and this was sitting next to it. Okay. Seek my face, and you will find not only my presence, but also my peace. To receive my peace, you must change your grasping, controlling stance to one of openness and trust. The only thing you can grasp without damaging your soul is my hand. Do you hear me? Get out of here, you McAfee. Okay, here we go again. The only thing you can grasp without damaging your soul is my hand. Ask my spirit within you to order your day and control your thoughts. For the mind controlled by the spirit is life and peace. Pretty simple stuff, just hard to do. Remember, the only thing you can grasp is my hand. Ask my spirit to order your day and control your thoughts. Your thoughts aren't your own. You know that, right? You think all these little thoughts that you're having, these little voices that tell you, hey, I think I might eat this today. Ooh, let's go here today. I got this, I got that to do. Oh, wait, we got this tomorrow. Oh, shooting this tomorrow and the other day. And oh, you start worrying, right? The little voices in your head, because your thoughts aren't your own. They never have been. That's what this whole experience is. The only thing you can grasp without damaging your soul is my hand. That's why you need to ask the spirit within you to order your day and control your thoughts. For the mind controlled by the spirit is life and peace. You can have as much of me and my peace as you want through thousands of correct choices each day. The most persistent choice you face is whether to trust me or not. You will never run out of things to worry about, but you can choose to trust me. Okay? You will never run out of things to worry about, but you can choose to trust me no matter what. I am an ever-present help in trouble. Trust me, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea. Oh, thank you. I forgot. Yay. Oh, cool. So, check out what I found. Hiding in my note. Was stuck in there the whole time. All right, here. I'm going to show you this little card right here. You guys ever seen this one before? This image? Okay, when I'm reading, I want you to think that's me holding you. Look at, you're tired. It could be a man or a woman, okay? Doesn't matter. That's a hardworking person who's tired, they're exhausted, they're spent. Okay, yeah, that was in. I see why I was stuck with that part right there now. Okay, so let's continue on. Where do we go here? I had that on which page? Oh, on this page, yeah. Okay, so after looking at that image and what I had just told you, come to me for rest and refreshment. The journey has been too much for you, and you are bone weary. Do not be ashamed of your exhaustion. Instead, see it as an opportunity for me to take charge of your life. Remember that I can fit everything into a pattern for good, including the things you wish were different. Start with where you're at this point in time and space, okay? So start at this very point in time and space, accepting that this is where I intended you to be. If you're here, whether it's on the replay a day later, whatever, it doesn't matter. At that time and point in space, you are accepting that this is where I intended you to be. You will get through each day one step, one moment at a time. Your main responsibility is to remain attentive to me, letting me guide you through many choices along your pathway. Now, this sounds like an easy assignment, but it's not. Like I said, this stuff sounds simple, but it's hard to do. Your desire to live in my presence goes against the grain of the world, the flesh, and the devil. Okay? Your desire to live in my presence goes against the grain of the world. That's why it's so hard to have one leg in the spiritual and one in this realm. It's good that you practice this. And, it'll bring you peace. The more things get out of control, the more you're going to need that practice. Your main responsibility is to remain attentive to me, letting me guide you through the many choices along your pathway. That sounds like an easy assignment, but it's not, because your desire to live in my presence goes against the grain of the world. Yeah. Much of your weariness, let's talk about the weariness. Much of your weariness results from your constant battle against these opponents. However, you are on the path of my choosing, so do not give up. Hope in me, for you will again praise me for the help of my presence. I am above all things. See? I'm above all things. I'm above your problems, your pain. I'm above all things, your problems, your pain, and the swirling events in this ever-changing world. When you behold my face, you rise above circumstances and rest with me in heavenly realms. Right at this very moment, when you're with me right now, we are in a heavenly realm. Doesn't seem like it, but you are. The peace that we're enjoying while you're listening to my voice and looking at my face. I am above all things. Your problems, your pain, and I am above the swirling events. Okay? When you behold my face, you rise above your circumstances and rest with me in heavenly realms. This is the way of peace, living in the light of my presence. I guarantee you that you will always have problems in this life, but they must not become your focus. When you feel yourself sinking in the sea of circumstances, call out, "Help me, Jesus," and I will draw you back to me. If you have to say it 1,000 times, don't be discouraged. I know your weakness, and I meet you in that very place, don't I? That was stuck to that one, which led to these others. It had that one to know. Oh, okay. So, is this? Hang on 1 second. Don't lose that thought. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so when you feel yourself sinking in the sea of circumstances, call out, "Help me, Jesus," and I will draw you back to me. Even if you have to say it 1,000 times daily, don't be discouraged. I know your weakness and I meet you in that very place. So don't be afraid to face your sins. Except for me, there has never been a sinless person. So if you claim to be without sin, you deceive yourself and evade the truth. It's actually quite freeing to confess your sins, knowing that I will forgive you and purify you from all your unrighteousness. Okay? Remember, we were talking about the step 5 when you confess your sins. It's actually quite freeing to confess your sins, knowing. I want you now to know that I will forgive you and I will purify you from all your unrighteousness. The good news is that I have redeemed you. Almost scratched that out. The good news is that I have redeemed you. I have paid the full penalty for all your sins. When you confess your wrongdoings, you are aligning yourself with the truth, aren't you? When you just simply confess a wrongdoing, aren't you starting to align yourself with the truth now? Yeah. Speaking of this, here's where we stop for a minute. Now, uh, today, I know most of you heard that OJ died today, okay? And he had a deathbed confession, okay? Now, something I need to tell you guys. There's something in life when you go running around denying it the whole time, all right, and lying, knowing that you were guilty, you live in a state of torment in your mind because you never confessed, right? And it haunts you until your dying day. Now, on his confession, on his deathbed, he confessed, I did it, supposedly, okay? I know what I heard, okay? Now, that's a different kind of confession altogether right there. That that one at the very end of life means a little bit more than, well, it's a different kind. All right, let's not say it means more. It's just a different kind of confessing. It's confessing at the very last moment. Oh, okay, I did it. I did it. I did it. Instead of just coming clean when you first did it and be like, yeah, I did it, and then deal with the consequences and live without that torment in your mind. So, when you confess your wrongdoings, you are aligning yourself with the truth. Since I myself am the truth, your confession draws you closer to me. It also sets you free from the nagging guilt feelings that I was just talking about. Now, nagging guilt feelings, they're just killing people all over this planet with nagging guilt feelings. It causes, separations of family, drug addiction, alcoholism, all because of these nagging guilt feelings. We try to mask them with drugs and alcohol and all this other stuff. But your confession draws you closer to me and sets you free from nagging guilt feelings. Okay? Now I'm going to try to jump to like step 10 in the things in the steps. Step 10 is an important one. It says, when you were wrong, you promptly admitted it. Okay. A lot of the times we got things wrong. All right. We judged people wrong. We didn't know. We thought they had done this or done that, and we were wrong. Okay. But nobody ever admits when they're wrong. They just kind of smooth it over. Never mind. Shove it under the carpet and let's move forward. Never an apology, never saying, hey, whoa, 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 I was out of line there. I was wrong. I saw what I did, and it must have felt like agony to you. I need to apologize to you. I make amends. I try to, make amends for the things that you did wrong. And once you've done that, then when you're wrong, you promptly admit it. You don't think about it for a couple of hours and go, well, I was wrong, and how am I going to lie my way out of this one? No, just confess it right away. It'll set you free. Oh, they should have taught this to you guys in school. I'm so pissed that this wasn't taught in our schools. I myself am the truth. Your confession draws you closer to me, sets you free from nagging guilt feelings. When you realize you've sinned in your thoughts, words, or actions, admit it immediately. Your confession need not be lengthy or eloquent. It can be simple. It needs to be just simple. Forgive me and cleanse me, Lord. That's all it takes is a simple recognition and then a response of, forgive me and cleanse me, Lord. And I have already done that part. I can't, you have to say forgive me and cleanse me in order to access that. Okay. And then I pointed arrows going back to where, what? Your confession need not be lengthy or eloquent. It can be simple as forgive me and cleanse me, Lord. I have already done the hard part by dying on the cross for your sins. Your part is to live in the light of the truth. Okay? The light of the truth. Live in it now. Okay, we're in a new age now. Now you can live in the light of the truth. I, your Savior, am the light of the world. Let me teach you how to spend more of your time in the present. The future, as most people conceptualize it, does not really exist. Okay? The future does not really exist. When you gaze into your tomorrows, making predictions, you are simply exercising your imagination. I alone have access to what is not yet. Okay, I alone have access to what is not yet because I am not limited by time. As you go step by step through each day, I unfurl the future before you. However, while you're moving forward through time, you never set foot on anything else but the present moment. Huh? I want you to think hard, you guys. It's not really too tough, but we are unlocking little pathways in your mind. While you're moving forward through time, you never set foot on anything but the present moment. Recognizing the futility of gazing into the yet to come, recognizing the futility of doing that, of gazing into the yet to come, is futile. When you recognize the futility of gazing into the yet to come times, it can set you free to live more fully in the present. Okay? I'm sitting there future tripping too. I got to be home by 5 o'clock and start cooking dinner. I have kids and a widow and people that I have that rely on me. All right, I have to be there by a certain time. It's very important, you know. And sometimes I trip about the future and I forget, you know, I need to be in that present moment. I'm at the red light going, come on, come on, come on. But meanwhile, I'm missing the view in the clouds of some beautiful event unfolding in the clouds. So that's another hard thing to do, is while you're moving forward through time, realizing you never really grasp or set foot on anything but that present moment. When you recognize the futility of grasping or gazing into the future, when you recognize that futility, it can set you free to live more fully in the present. Okay, because it's all about living in this present moment. Becoming free is a demanding process because your mind is accustomed to wandering into the future at will. Your mind's already accustomed to it. So becoming free is a demanding process. When you find yourself caught up in a bunch of thoughts, recognize that you are roaming in fantasy land. Okay? This isn't fantasy land. This is real. What you're in is fantasy land. And I'm trying to pull you out of it. Okay? Awake. Becoming free is a demanding process. Your mind is accustomed to wandering. When you find yourself wandering, recognize that you're roaming in fantasy land. Awaken yourself to this truth. Awakening yourself to that truth helps you return to the present, where I eagerly await you, ready to enfold you in my unfailing love. Unfailing. Unconditional. As long as you lean on me, lean into me, be open to it, I can help you. No, that's not the one I wanted. Oh boy. All right, give me a second here. I gotta find a closer here. Let's kind of go back a little bit here to this image. Play that for a bit. What the oh, we can put the sound on for a second. I gotta find this other page. See all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event, and I'm gonna show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images and that this event, is taking place here because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus's face and the lion face. All right. Now, this happened in the clouds. I found it. It was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out and compressed them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these. You literally, if you could step out of your body and walk like a mile back from where your perspective is, then you could see it. But it's in a different dimension, all right? Now that you know how big these things are in the sky, what to look for, start looking up in your clouds, you guys. There's giant faces all over the place. I watch these storm chasers driving into these huge thunderstorms, and they're looking at the, the lowering in the clouds, blah, blah, blah. Little do they know they're pointing out the features of the face. There's a giant face just staring right at them, and they're like, look at the vortice. And I'm like, yeah, it's sticking its tongue out at you, mocking you. So check out your clouds, guys. I'm showing you how it works and giving you eyes to see and what to look for. All right, I found the one I was looking for. This is going to be our closer, so everybody get all nice and warm and comfy, because when you look at that right there, something I want you to know, okay? I want you to know this. I am your treasure. I am immeasurably more valuable than anything you can see, hear, or touch. Knowing me is every other prize. Earthly treasures are frequently hoarded, insured, and worried over, or hidden for safekeeping. Most earthly treasures are hoarded, insured, and worried over, and hidden for safekeeping, aren't they? But the riches you have in me can never be lost or stolen or damaged. On the contrary, as you freely share me with others, you gain more of me. Don't you? You do. Okay? As you freely share me with others, you gain more of me. I am infinite. Since I am infinite, there will always be more of me to discover and to love. Your world often feels fragmented with countless things. Okay? This world is fragmented with countless things, both large and small, all of it vying for your attention. All these fragments flying around, vying for your attention. All this, I'll use the word stuff. All this keeps getting in the way of enjoying my presence. You are worried and troubled about many things, but only one thing is needed. When you make me that one thing, you choose what will never be taken away from you. Rejoice in my continual nearness, and let your knowledge of me put everything else in perspective. I am the treasure that can brighten up all of your moments. Okay? I love you guys. I am your treasure. Okay? I can brighten up all your moments. Oh, I sure love you guys. I miss you guys. I'm going to wrap it up here. We have lots to be on the lookout for. Before I wrap it up, watch the weather. We have what appeared to be a gravitational event with the water column, or a, not column, but let's just call it a bubble, or a bulge. And if it reduced pretty slowly, it might not create too big of a tsunami, but we could possibly see some kind of tidal surge or tidal retreat somewhere around the world due to said action. All right. So I think that's it for tonight. Everybody pray for the people in Pennsylvania. That whole area is having a lot of issues. So everybody keep praying for each other. Pray for patience. Pray for endurance. You guys are doing awesome. I'm so happy for the new members here at the family. And what I mean by members are the people that have figured it out. You could come here and watch the channel and get all the information, and you still haven't figured it out yet. But for the people who have figured it out, peace and joy with you. And my love to you guys. All right. And for those of you who are like, what is he talking about? You'll figure it out pretty soon. And you'll see that I am the treasure. I'm the gift that keeps on giving, okay? And I'm here. I love you and I miss you. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. And I'm still to come. Until my next show,